Hey guys, I'm going to do this new thing from now on where every Wednesday I review a movie that's a year old or more. And so without further ado, and because I have no way to segue into my review, Batman. So before Christian Bale, there was Michael Keaton. Before Heath Ledger, there was Jack Nicholson. And before Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, there was Tim Burton's Batman from 1989. This was the first in the modern, or what's considered to be the modern Batman movies, and stars Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne / Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Unlike Batman Begins, this movie is set sometime after Wayne has donned the identity of Batman. And this movie mainly focuses on the Joker wanting to take over Gotham by creating products that end up making the citizens laugh to death. Much like the Nolan movies, the overall plot of this movie is very simple, with a few interesting things going on visually. However, in this film's case, the interesting things are at the cost of pissing off Batman fans because they changed some things from the comics. I was never an avid Batman reader. The Burton movies, the Nolan movies, the animated series, and thankfully not the Schumacher series were my only exposure to Batman. What changes are there for those who aren't Batman readers like me? Well, the Joker starts out with this guy named Jack Napier, who's a henchman for a crime boss who gets knocked into a pool of acid by Batman. Once he becomes the Joker, he starts to become crime boss. And then as the movie progresses, you soon find out that he was actually responsible for killing Bruce Wayne's parents back when Bruce was a little kid. Here's what I'll say about this. Batman fans have told me they don't like the idea that the Joker was the one that killed Batman's parents. Personally, I would prefer if it wasn't the Joker who killed Batman's parents, but it makes a great hero-villain relationship in the context of this movie alone. Bruce Wayne wants to kill the Joker for killing his parents when he was a kid, and the Joker wants to kill Batman because, well, he got thrown into a pool of acid by Batman. I mean, anyone would want to kill whoever threw you into a pool of acid. I mean, let's face it, you'd want to kill someone if they threw you into a pool of acid. Let's be honest. Let's stray away from the changes, though, because those things, again, as a non-Batman reader, they didn't bother me all that much. Because there are a lot of good things about this movie that I don't think Batman fans truly acknowledge. Jack Nicholson, for one thing, is really great as the Joker. I mean, Heath Ledger may be the best Joker in terms of film, but Jack Nicholson is the classic Joker. He's the Joker that I think of, along with the animated one, whenever I hear the word Joker. Another thing is that Michael Keaton does a really good job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. I mean, he does a good job as Bruce Wayne, as I mentioned, but when he's Batman, he is the best live-action Batman. I mean, Christian Bale is the better Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's more cocky, looks more like a billionaire than Michael Keaton does, but Michael Keaton is the better Batman simply because he does not have that voice. Bale may have the better suit in terms of, like, having to turn the neck around, but Keaton is the best Batman in live action. I'm sorry, Nolan fans, but that's just how I feel. One thing that I really like that this movie did that the Nolan movies unfortunately don't do, which I don't have a problem with the Nolan movies not doing this, is that it has a really strong visual style. I mean, Tim Burton's known for his visual style and just making things look really beautiful. And this movie, it's like probably the most toned down I've seen, but it's beautiful enough that it even inspired the look and art style of the animated series, which Batman fans, if you may not like this movie, you got to admit, you have to give this movie credit that without this movie, there would not be an animated series or a Nolan trilogy. You can dislike the movie all you want, but you at least have to give it that. The music, the theme song by Danny Elfman is also great. It's like the definitive Batman theme. Like, it's triumphant. It gives chills down my spine. It's just immediately when I hear that song, I think of Batman. Speaking of music, here comes one of my negatives. If I had to point any negatives about this movie, Prince songs. Why are Prince songs in this movie? When they're used in scenes, it just really feels corny and very outdated. There's a scene where the Joker and his henchmen are in a museum, and I'm pretty sure when you watch the scene, Prince's Party Man is not the song Jack Nicholson was dancing to. Another negative thing in this, admittedly, with all the Batman products, with the exception of Batman Begins, the Joker seems to take a lot of the attention away from Batman. I give credit for the Nolan movies for trying to avoid that, but admit, in this series, the Joker really does steal the show. And they're not afraid to let him out there. Whereas in The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger admittedly did steal the show, but they did try to give an equal balance for the Joker and Batman. Not really much of a problem for me. It is supposed to be Batman's story, but the Batman series has always had the most iconic villains, so to see them have the front line doesn't really bother me all that much like it does some people. Again, I know it's Batman's story, and I would prefer it to be an equal balance, but can't have too much of a good thing. So as a whole, and being a non-hardcore Batman fan, I really love this movie. It's got a great score and astonishing art direction like you would expect from a Tim Burton movie, except Planet of the Apes. And while I do prefer The Dark Knight over this movie did make my top 10 best superhero movies list at number 7, where The Dark Knight made number 5. So for me, I'd say just get off your ass and go see this movie right now if you haven't. It's really a good movie. If this movie had never existed, there would not be a Dark Knight trilogy, and there would have not been a Batman animated series. So that's my review for Tim Burton's Batman. Leave a comment if you've seen the movie, subscribe to my channel for more reviews, check out my other channel, AlexG8462, check back here next Wednesday for another retro review, share me with your friends. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson, and remember, know it before you see it. See you guys later.